You know, sometimes, if I curl my finger just so, I can feel the pressure of the trigger, smell the gunpowder, hear Cade's screams. I could have done it nice and quick. But, well, you know, don't you? The way he laid there, reached out for his ghost and begged. Like those little shards were going to help him.
Begone, you facile caricature. Your lies have no power here.
So, as I hear the tale told, you killed a guardian in another life, without even being a light bearer.
I would prefer not to talk about this, Empress.
Please. Such a feat requires cunning and strength that only the mightiest of Cabal have ever achieved. Surely the Traveler saw this.
I don't think any of us can claim to know what the Traveler thinks. Not anymore. Eris, how did you deal with all this? You had, what, 4 or 5 of these things haunting you? How did you even sleep?
I do not sleep. I dealt with my demons by confronting them head-on. The words they are saying are your personal truths. They are your thoughts, fears, and nightmares brought to life. That nightmare is no more Uldren Sov than you are.
Oh. Thank you.
I do not require your thanks. I require you to be stronger than your fears.
Has the Vanguard considered weaponizing the Pyramid's technology?
Turning the Pyramid against the Witness. Is that even possible?
Nothing is without possibility. We must all exercise caution when dealing with paracausal forces, but I admit, the idea has merit.
That doesn't sound like a no. I was expecting to be scolded.
Then you have much to learn about me.
I wonder how Mara is feeling right now, with her baby brother alive and refusing to acknowledge her. What a cruel knife to wield.
She's not my sister. I'm not doing this to spite her.
So you admit you're ignoring her on purpose? Is it because you're scared of her? Or because you're scared of who you are when you're around her?
No.
Oh. Or maybe you're just afraid you like it.
Shut up.
Shut up!
Don't you ever tire of doing other people's busy work, Guardian? Do you ever wonder if, just maybe, people are taking advantage of you? I know I did.
Eris, you lost your ghost, didn't you? If anything ever happened to Glint,
Yes. Briar. Her name was Briar. And she was my first friend. She gave me kindness, comfort, and light. She died so that I could have one last life. It is their parting gift to us. We must cherish it, as much as we cherish our time with them.
Glint is my tether in an endless storm. I can't imagine your loss. I'm sorry.
It's done then. No thanks to your crow.
His debt is settled. Saladin saw to that.
If he hopes to earn my favor again, then he must try harder.
I serve only one queen. We know this in our heart.
Crow, now that you know your personal truth, do you correspond with your sister?
She's reached out, but I haven't had the time.
You can lie to me all you want. Do not lie to yourself, even once. I understand the compulsion to. The Awoken Queen is a complex woman. She often pushes people to, and regrettably, past their limits.
She compromises me. Sees through me, into me.
I suppose she does. I hope you reconsider the lenses through which you have viewed her. Not all are equal.
Checking in from the helm. How's it going on the ground?
Miss Holiday, what a pleasant surprise. I've wanted so much to meet you.
Don't.
Do you feel that, little bird? The urge to wind your fingers around my throat, to squeeze. That's who we are.
What if I'm doomed to repeat Uldren's mistakes?
Doubt and shame would have you believe that. But it is a lie we tell ourselves when we are afraid of doing the hard work of change. Do not fear.
Easier said than done.
Crow, are you skulking about?
I don't skulk. What do you want, Eris?
Have you been seeing your other half? Has he been communicating with you?
Like I owe him money. He's extremely persistent.
Glibness does nothing to help your growth. How are you responding to his goading?
Kinda like this.
It is as if you two deserve each other.
You stacked high the bodies of our enemies to build your city's walls. And yet you take for granted the protection it offers you and those you love. You are still young, Guardian. Soon, you will understand loss, as Zavala and I do.
This place...
It is unsettling by design.
No, I can feel. There are presences here. Old ones I can smell.
Go on.
Lilies. Antiseptic. Familiar hair and skin. But when I chase it, it all turns to smoke.
Strong memories. Hold them close. They will be needed soon.
I feel like a stranger in my own skin. Does my ghost even recognize me as the man he raised?
You are a warrior. Your true identity is only known to your enemies in the split second before their deaths. This is your truth.
Maybe. Maybe I've never been more than an instrument of violence. But sometimes... I wish I was more than that.
You are a leader for those who need to be led. A champion for those who cannot be one. You are enough.
Who were you before you became a Guardian? Do you remember? Do you ever wonder? Zavala discourages you from asking those questions. He thinks a Guardian's past can be a liability. Now why do you suppose that is? Perhaps you should ask him.
Eris, what's the status on the Leviathan?
Lord Saladin, we have made some progress in combating the nightmares, but more remains to be done. Zavala can elaborate if you so desire.
I would rather not trouble him. The Cabal fleet will maintain its position around the Leviathan.
As you wish.
You fight well, Guardian. Does Zavala ever tell you so? He can be hard to read, I know. So stoic. So distant. Like his god.
Please, don't.
Well done. I have a message for your commander. Tell him not to fall to temptation as I did. Our enemies wield our love like daggers. Protect your hearts.
Another rousing success. Tell me, will we ever see you smile again, Zavala?
You can't coax a smile out of him. I've tried. He's too much like Lord Saladin that way.
And yet, I've seen Saladin smile. It is a glorious thing.
Ah, this brings back memories, does it not? You used to provide such entertainment aboard this vessel. Oh, I missed watching you struggle against the odds, Guardian. Now, we even have an audience.
This isn't a game, Kellis. The Vanguard tolerated your presence before, but now you've crossed a line.
Lines exist to be crossed, Commander Zavala. Where have you drawn yours?
Zavala, I heard a voice over comms earlier. Was that?
Yes. It was.
Are you sure you want to do this? You could take a step back, let me shoulder some of the burden.
No, Saladin. I made my choice. And now I have to see it through.
Seize that power and become a reaper of nightmares.
How did Eris get through this? How did she face her own nightmares on the moon? I know what it's like to hold the line against an unstoppable foe. To fight a battle with no clear path to victory. But this is different. And I don't know what to do.
Light bearers spill blood without any thought to how much they have in their own bodies. Do you even remember the last time you felt it leave you? Your deaths are usually so quick, almost effortless. You rise like a bird, snapping so easily back into flight. Someone should teach you pain, Guardian. Be humble. Do you use them to prove your loyalty, Zavala? How many Guardians have you sacrificed to show your faith?
Be quiet, you dead-eyed creature. I will not let you speak to him so.
That is not necessary.
I would stay any knife aimed at your throat. Would you have me step aside and let it find its mark?
No, Thank you, Cuddle. I'm sorry.
No apologies, Commander. We need not tend our open wounds alone. Zavala, those instruments you presented to the Crown, what were they?
Knitting needles. Do the Cabal not practice a similar craft?
I know what needles are, but what is knitting?
I'll show you. Eris, your fire team. I sent them into danger. I sent them to their deaths.
Peace, Zavala. The only blame I ever carried was toward myself. And even that has passed.
Every Guardian lost under my command is my responsibility. What am I, if I am unable to bear that fact?
I see your struggle. I feel it. You can ask forgiveness of your nightmare, but they will never grant it. Not as they are. Not until you have forgiven yourself.
Face to face once again, Commander. Does the city still tremble at my name?
You were defeated. All trace of you has been wiped away. Your name lingers only as a bad memory.
Impossible. I took your city. I took your traveler. I took your light. And I taught you fear.
You didn't teach Guardians to fear. You taught them to overcome it.
Eris, more. The others do not speak openly of your past.
Those stories are mine to share.
I know only that you claimed your strength through great hardship and greater ferocity.
There was no sacrifice, no bargain or tithe. The only strength I hold is from moving forward when others could not.
There are deep truths within you which... Did you lose your world?
I lost so much more than that.
Press on, Guardian.
Be silent! You are small. Weak like a princess imperial.
Her title is Empress. Call your superior what she is.
I will when she earns it.
Heavy is the burden of leadership, Empress. You see how Zavala strains not to buckle beneath it.
He holds all of humanity on his shoulders.
And how much do you carry on your own? Rest.
Tell me, Kaido, are these guardians not just simple vessels for their light?
They are more than that. They are born of nothing but ashes, and must rise from them to determine their own destinies by sheer will.
But without the light, I have felt them squirm beneath my boot. They are nothing.
And I have felt them at my side, ready to lend their strength if my blade arm tires. Fearless.
Offering the light spawn a seat on your council showed weakness, Kaido. You should have brought them to heel.
As you did, before they retook their city and you burned in their traveler's light.
So, you acted not out of weakness, but out of fear. You cowered before a foe that defeated a greater warrior.
There is a difference between fear and respect. You used to know that.
Kaito refused to take part in your hype ritual, did she? At least she maintained some semblance of Cabal pride.
That pride places us all in jeopardy. She would rather we break than bend with the wind.
As it should be. Better to die true to one's nature than to deny it for the sake of survival.
Spoken like one who does not know the value of life.
So, my daughter has forged an alliance with the Guardians. I see Kaito recognizes your kind's potential, just as I do.
That is where your similarities end. I have seen her lead with purpose and conviction. More than can be said of you.
Were you not the one who so fervently slaughtered her soldiers when they first arrived, Lord Saladin? I wonder what that says about your convictions. Daughter, do you hear me?
I do.
And do you hear him, too? She does. And if she is wise, she will listen. And the armistice between humanity and the Cabal, it is an affront against everything that we are. You style yourself Empress. Empress of what? A dead world. The traitors and spies that survived your incompetence.
You wish to cast blame. We were to lead the Cabal as one. We the Soul System if you had not left me to rot on Tora Bottle.
It is fortunate for us, then, that he did.
Humanity and the Cabal fighting side by side. Ah, daughter, work with the mighty Dominus Gaul said.
Nothing. He's dead.
Dead, but not gone. Never gone. In the hearts of our people, I am eternal. Enough! Surrender! Death will be quick.
Yes. I remember how swiftly you dispatched your enemies in the gladiator pits. One clean cut, your blade held aloft. How the crowds would cheer.
You cheered the loudest, Keitel.
Until I no longer had a voice.
Valley's Forge. Do not think yourself our equal light spawn. You are a war beast, begging for scraps at the table.
Humanity has proven time and again that we are more than a match for the Cabal.
Is that why you were absent when the Red Legion marched on your city? Were you more than a match for us then?
We'll never know. The light obliterated you before I could arrive. Zavala. Keitel told me about Sophia. Are you all right?
Yes. I believe I am. Facing the past wasn't easy. But in the end, it was worth it.
The night you returned to the temple, there was much I left unsaid.
You're not to blame, Saladin. I buried my grief, as you did after the Iron Lords fell. We both know better now.
How disappointing that Keitel still fails to see reason, to accept the truth I have offered her. Still, I suppose there is time for her to come around. I am her father, after all.
You don't know the first thing about fatherhood.
Lord Saladin, how long has it been since I first set foot in your camp, my old friend?
Longer than I care to recount. I remember how Zavala urged me to turn you away. He didn't think refugees belonged there.
And you said that if you could not defend the defenseless, then why have a camp at all? It seems he took that to heart, no?
I suppose I taught him well.
One by one, I destroyed those who cast me into exile, and yet my daughter still lives. She's quicker than an assassin's blade, and her stomach made of stronger stuff than your poisons. I trained her well. Too well. I wonder sometimes if I'd promised her to you, would there have ever been a coup? You could have inherited my throne instead of taking it. That is not the way.
Your light has guided you back to yourself. You're now both Pauper and Prince.
It's good to feel whole again. I just hope Glint gets along with the new me.
He will understand. A ghost's bond with their guardian is a profound thing, not to be taken lightly or easily forgotten.
For the longest time, I thought I was the only one haunted by my past. Turns out everyone has a skeleton or two in their closet.
It has always been so. Now that you've learned to see beyond your regrets, perhaps you'll recognize the same pain in others. In time, you will be able to help them as I have. Yours is a compassionate soul, Crow. You have only just begun to discover what you are capable of.
Do you remember, Zavala? The night we buried Hakim? The gun in your hand, the moon at your back, and your ghost.
You saved him. Saved him from me.
You would not have hurt him, Zavala. It would have only been more death.
You couldn't have known that. What did you see? A desperate man, dangerous with grief. I would have pulled the trigger.
What I saw was a broken man holding a gun to his own heart. He would have sooner killed himself.
The smallest spark can ignite an inferno. The Red Legion might never have come to this system had you stayed away from our forward bases.
I knew the Vanguard was risking war with the Cabal when we landed on Mars. But we needed to reach the Black Garden no matter what.
So you provoked one enemy to avoid annihilation by another. Much like Keitel when she brought her fleet to Earth.
She and I both understand that sometimes war is the only option. That doesn't make it a good one.
I remember Toro Battle. How the crowds would take to the streets in celebration of the Empire's victories. Cheering until the sun rose above the city.
When I close my eyes, I can still see the mountains and the seas. The lush jungles where wild war beasts hunted in packs. That is all gone now. Likely overrun with hive chitin and rotten fungus. Same as this accursed ship.
Then keep Toro Battle's memory as you keep mine. And when the time comes, avenge what has been lost. Even after my death, the remnants of the Red Legion fight in my name. They will never bow to Keitel.
That is the power of legacy. The Iron Lords who fought beside me are with me still. I light their braziers every night. So long as I remember them, they are never truly gone. One day, I too will fall, and someone else will tend my flame.
Well said. May your death be glorious, Saladin Forge.
I never thought of Zavala as having a life before the Vanguard.
He wished it that way. He could not be seen as a father, a husband, or a man. Only as your commander, one of his many sacrifices.
Are you sure it's a victory for your crow to accept his past? Was the Prince of the Awoken not the origin of much suffering for your people?
He was. But Crow is still his own person. Even if he remembers the burden of his past misdeeds. People can change.
I suppose they can. Perhaps in that there is hope for us all.